Stakeholders on equal opportunities for all children have advocated for an end to separate schools for children with disabilities. They made the call during the closeout meeting of Support Mainstreaming Inclusion So All Can Learn Equally SMILE project in Abuja. Dr. Sunday Isiaku, Country Director, Sight Savers Nigeria and Ghana said, making schools more inclusive for all learners will promote the well-being, inclusion, and ensure that people with disabilities access quality education.
Is aimed at ensuring that children with disabilities can go to normal schools. The general practice is to have children with disabilities attend special schools. The reality of life is that they attend special schools, but outside those schools, they face challenges in terms of integration with communities, moving and doing their daily activities. So this project is saying that normally most parents, if they have a child with disability, they are concerned that that child cannot get adequate education. So we are aiming to say this child can have a good inclusive education. And what the project has done is to get the parents to be aware of that, send their children to school, make sure that teachers are trained on how to teach children with disabilities so that they can learn and communicate with their peers in schools.
Mr. James Lalu, Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, represented by Mrs. Nike Akimbola, Head Development Program and Planning Unit, said, fast-tracking inclusive education will ensure PWDs are at par with their counterparts globally.
So studies have shown that children with disabilities constitute more than 50% of over 10.5 million of out-of-school children in Nigeria. And according to the United Nations UNICEF, about 95% of children with disabilities amount to 7 million children with disabilities that are out of school in Nigeria. Remember that there are children with disabilities that also need to become professors one day. There are children with disabilities that want to be ministers one day. There are children with disabilities that will one day grow up to be president of this country.
Also, Deputy Director, Special Needs, Federal Ministry of Education said the federal government was in the process of completing the policy review on inclusive education.
This project that will be taking place in Jama local government is a pilot school. Definitely, like I was in the closeout ceremony that day in Kaduna, which will continue because the federal government has also already reviewed or they are in the process of completing the review national policy on inclusive education. That means that one is to make sure that all children with disability are involved in any segment of the education sector.
Also, Ms. Zainab Isa, a teacher in UBE Township, Kafanchan, Jemaah LGA, commended the government, Sight Savers Nigeria, and other donor partners for improving access to quality education for children with disabilities.
Indeed, the SMILE project has brought smiles to many lives, most especially those with special needs, because now the parents feel so secure and happy to take their kids to school.
I have to say a big thanks to them for making me be what I am today. After school, I want to become a teacher because teacher teaches learners from school and when they grow up, they will become something.
Other highlights of the event was the presentation by students with disabilities on the SMILE project and award presentation to supportive partners towards the success of the project.